This is Adam Smith, the Nationally Licensed Health Insurance Advisor, and today I'm going to talk about HSA plans, what the kind of deductibles you have to have with an HSA, and just some of the benefits. There's a lot to know here, so please listen up. With an HSA is a health savings account, but it has to be paired with a high deductible health plan. Most of the time you just see these plans through employers, but self-employed individuals and families can have them as well. So with an HSA, again, you do have to have a high deductible of $6,000 or greater to have an HSA that can pair with your health insurance plan. A lot of the HSAs are not available to add on a PPO with it. So usually they're in limited coverage networks like PPOs or HMOs. And those are where you have to go to specific doctors to use the insurance, and you'd have to get referrals to go and see a specialist. If you have questions about EPOs, HMOs, or PPOs, please see my video with the different types of networks, and that'll get you back on track. First of all, let's talk about what an HSA is. This is a health savings account. So this is a savings account you pair with your insurance. And a lot of people like this route because they're relatively healthy and they don't expect to hit a deductible within a given year. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, does an HSA have the lowest monthly premium? And this is a tricky question because it could. It just depends. So a lot of times people go with an HSA plan because it's a bronze level, high deductible, and they think it has a low monthly premium. And it definitely does when you compare it to like a silver or gold plan. So there are these tiers of networks. So like bronze, silver, gold. Bronze has the lowest monthly premium, but the highest deductible. Then once you go up plan levels, like silver and gold, you have a higher monthly premium, but a lower deductible. But also, you'd want to consider the private market as well, because that has a lot of the low deductible PPO plans. And so your plans with the lowest monthly premium are going to be your high deductible plans and the private PPOs that have a preferred rate. If you have a high deductible HSA plan through your employer, likely your employer is funding that HSA because they want you to have less out-of-pocket costs. So they're putting money into it. However, when you have an independent HSA for an individual or a family, that's when you have to fund your own HSA. Because you have a high deductible, likely you're not going to be able to hit that in out-of-pocket costs. So with this HSA, you have to be really dedicated to it to get the maximum out of it. So you've got to fund your HSA out of your pocket every year. And essentially what you're doing here is you're front loading or you're prepaying a deductible knowing that you likely won't hit it. And so that way you've got some money in there to use for those qualified medical expenses that I mentioned, like deductible, co-payment, co-insurance. However, if you don't fund this every year, then you're going to be paying more in taxes. And so you have to be really on top of this. You have to be dedicated. Know that with an HSA, you've got to fund it to get the maximum amount of savings on it. Otherwise, you just have a high deductible plan and you're trying to pay for all these expenses out of pocket. All of this can feel maybe a little bit overwhelming. There's a lot to know about HSAs, but this is where I come in. I'd love to be able to show you all your options, tell you the pros and cons, and see if an HSA is a good fit. So if you have questions, please let me know, schedule a time, and I'd be happy to answer all your questions. One of the other questions we get often is, can you pair an HSA with a PPO? And most of the time, the answer is no. Sometimes if you have a big corporate employer, they will offer a PPO plan that can be paired with an HSA, and hopefully you have an employer that'll fund that, because if you don't fund that HSA, then you're just trying to hit a high deductible and paying it all out of your own pocket. So if you have a corporate employer, maybe you have a PPO option. Otherwise, in most states, you won't have a PPO available to pair with an HSA high deductible plan. And if you do have a PPO that's available, it'll be a gold plan, which has a low deductible, but the catch is it's very costly monthly. So we've covered what an HSA plan is with a high deductible, how it works, if you compare it with a PPO. Again, a lot of information here, and that's why if you'd like to schedule a time, I'd be happy to go over that with you. Please subscribe if you'd like to hear more videos like this. And this is Adam Smith, the nationally licensed health insurance advisor.